Julian Fernando Casablancas, born August 23, 1978, is an American singer, songwriter, and record producer. He is best known as the lead singer and primary songwriter of rock band The Strokes, with whom he has released 6 studio albums since their founding in 1998. Casablancas released a solo album, Phrazes for the Young, in 2009. That same year, he founded the independent record label Cult Records, which has represented artists such as the Growlers, Rey Pila, and Tyranny. Since 2013, he has been the frontman of experimental rock band The Voidz, formerly known as Julian Casablancas plus The Voidz. The band has released 2 albums, Tyranny, 2014, and Virtue, 2018. Julian Fernando Casablancas was born in New York City on August 23, 1978, the son of American-Spanish businessman John Casablancas, the founder of Elite Model Management, and Jeanette Christiansen, née Chrisjansen, a Danish model and the 1965 Miss Denmark who later became an artist. 456, when Casablancas was 8, his parents divorced. He once stated that he wanted to be closer to his father, which translated into teenage rebelliousness. 7, his mother later married Ghanian painter Sam Adoquei, 8-9, who helped shape Casablancas' early musical taste by exposing him to music such as The Doors, which was markedly different from the mostly Phil Collins-influenced music he listened to as a child. 10, he has several half-siblings, including an elder sister from his father's first marriage, 11, and 3 other siblings from his father's third marriage. 12. Casablancas met future Strokes bassist Nicolas Frotur when they were 6 years old, 13, while both were attending the bilingual French school Lycée Français de New York. 14-15, when he was 13, his father sent him to the Institut La Rosée boarding school in Switzerland, where he met future Strokes lead guitarist Albert Hammond Jr. 16, he later returned to New York and attended Dwight School with 2 other future Strokes bandmates, rhythm guitarist Nick Valenci and drummer Fabrizio Moretti. 16-17, he never finished high school, but took a GED and continued to take music classes at Five Towns College, which he later said was the first time he enjoyed himself in class. 18-19-20. Upon meeting future guitarist Nick Valenci and drummer Fab Moretti at Dwight School in Manhattan, the 3 began to play music together. He reconnected with guitarist Albert Hammond Jr. when the latter moved to New York. The band was formed in 1998 when Hammond was accepted into the band, 21, with Casablancas as the lead vocalist and main songwriter and Nicolas Frotur on bass. 22. The band began rehearsing a 14-song set which included Alone, Together, Barely Legal, Last Night, The Modern Age, New York City Cops, Soma, Someday, Take It or Leave It and This Life, an early version of Trying Your Luck. Most of these songs now feature different lyrics. A demo sent to the newly reformed Rough Trade Records in the UK sparked interest there, leading to their first release via the website of the UK magazine, NME, who gave away a free MP3 download of Last Night a week prior to the physical release as part of the Modern Age EP in 2001. The EP sparked a bidding war among record labels, the largest for a rock and roll band in years. Shortly after, the Strokes' critically acclaimed debut album Is This It was released. The band has received the highest of praise for Is This It, and it set the stage for what people expected to save rock in the new millennium. 23. Though some would argue that such statements left unreasonably sized shoes to fill, the Strokes are still highly recognized as one of the most influential garage rock bands of the early 2000s, paving the way for many new alternative bands to come. 24. Statistically, all albums released following their debut were not nearly as successful or well received by fans and critics. Citation needed, in an excerpt from Lizzie Goodman's Meet Me in the Bathroom, Rebirth and Rock and Roll in New York City, 2001-2011, named after the Strokes track, Strokes guitarist, Albert Hammond Jr., comments, with Room on Fire, 2003, people were giving us shit because they said we were sounding too much the same. With the third album, First Impressions of Earth, we were getting shit that we don't sound like Room on Fire. We got fucked by the same thing twice. 25. After the release of the 2 other albums and several major tours, the band took a 5-year break, then returned with their 4th album Angles in 2011. 26. The 5-year hiatus was said to be the result of conflicting solo projects, sobriety issues, and unspoken emotions. The Strokes drummer Fab Moretti claimed the band struggled to process such subconscious volcanic emotions, partly because they were still children at the time. 25. Although their creative processes has been critiqued by outside observers as a democracy under a dictator, 27, Casablancas has encouraged each band member to contribute their own ideas and collectively sort through which ones will potentially turn into something more. 28. Commenting on the meticulous nature of Julian's creative process, guitarist Nick Valenci has said, "His ear is so sharp. He's the one with the ear for detail in this band. Creatively, he is a force to be reckoned with." 27. The 2011 release, Angles, is said to reflect the beginning of the more collaborative nature of the band's creative process. 29. The album release was followed by several headlining appearances at musical festivals, including Reading, Coachella, Lollapalooza, and Austin City Limits. 30. The band released Come Down Machine in 2013, as their last album under the contract with longtime label RCA, for which they did no promotion. 31. The band released an EP, Future Present Past, on Casablancas' own label Cult Records in 2016. 32. In December 2018, it was announced that the band would headline at Bilbao BBK Live in 2019, kicking off their global comeback. 33. Numerous dates for festivals and shows have been announced afterwards, including a show at the Governor's Ball Music Festival, marking the band's return to New York City. 34. Starting May 14, 2019, the Strokes teased some of new songs, starting with The Adults Are Talking, Live at the Wiltern in Los Angeles, giving remarks that there is possibilities for the Strokes to release a new album. 35. On December 31, 2019, at Brooklyn Nye, they performed Ode to the Mets as an offer from Casablancas to sing Live instead of singing songs from Angles as requested by fans. "I don't remember Angles. What's Angles?" Casablancas responded before suggesting that the band play the new song and later confirming the release of a new project. 36.